Hello, brothers. In the history of Tsinghua University, there was a miraculous emperor. He accomplished astonishing feats. They were Mongolians, who fought against their homeland alongside Han troops. He was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan, but discarded Mongolian traditions. He treated Han people better than Mongolians. What kind of person was this? He was Kublai Khan, the founding emperor of the Yuan dynasty, the most successful cultural trader. Speaking of Kublai, let's not rush to label him a traitor without seeing his achievements. Under his rule, the territory of the Yuan reached its peak. East to Korea, west to Europe, north to the Arctic Ocean, and south to Hainan Island. In just 2 generations, it transformed from a nomadic tribe to a vast empire. The speed of this expansion would make the US envious. But here comes the problem. Who did Kublai fight in his founding battle? It was his own brother Erikbo and fellow Mongolians. In 1259, Kublai's older brother Monk suddenly passed away during a southern campaign. At that time, Kublai was fighting the southern Song in the south, while his brother Erikbo quickly convened Mongolian nobles in Karakorum, claiming to be the true defender of Mongolian traditions. He argued that Kublai was too close to Han culture. To be fair, this was indeed true. When Kublai was governing Hebei, he continually promoted Han policies, employing Han people for governance. Upon hearing this, Kublai was furious. What was wrong with Han people? What Kublai was fighting against were Mongolians. This action was akin to a Japanese general in 1938 leading recruited Chinese troops to attack Tokyo. How could this be justified? He crowned himself as the Emperor of Japan. This was outrageous. In 1266, Kublai led the Han army from Hebei and Shandong to attack his own brother Erikbo, defeating him decisively. He even burned the Mongolian capital, Karakorum. This act marked the end of the Mongolian Empire established by Genghis Khan. A Mongolian Khan leading Han troops to sweep through and conquer his homeland. Is that reasonable? Outrageous, indeed. Later, in 1267, he defeated the southern Song. This was truly abstract. He led Han people to destroy the Mongolian Empire, and then led Mongolians to conquer the southern Song. In Tsinghua, he was a Mongolian. In Mongolia, he was a Tsinghua person. He was the most successful double agent in history. After becoming emperor, his reforms shocked the Mongolian generals. First, he appointed many Han bureaucrats, showing leniency to landlords. Second, he established provinces in the Central Plains, while designating his homeland as a border region. Third, he significantly reduced taxes in southern provinces, from 700,000 Dan to 200,000 Dan. Fourth, he turned a blind eye to Han people's tax evasion. Fifth, he ordered the restoration of the previous Song dynasty's honor. Sixth, he established agencies to manage agriculture, using agricultural performance as a criterion for officials. The south became a paradise for merchants under the Yuan. In Fujian, taxes dropped from 700,000 Dan to 270,000 Dan. How generous! In Fuzhou, the area went from 100,000 hectares of taxable land to only 4,000 hectares under the Yuan dynasty. This was a difference of over 20 times. Kublai knew this but did not pursue it. Many Mongolians, unable to produce, became slaves to Han people. Kublai, however, was criticized for this. By the time of the Yuaning Zong, many Mongolians had become slaves, forcing the emperor to redeem them. In the end, over 10,000 were redeemed. This was just a portion. Countless Mongolians were sold to India and Arabia. Records indicate Mongolian men and women were sold overseas. Kublai was also exceptionally lenient towards loyalists of previous dynasties. When he tried to persuade Wen Tianxiang to surrender, Wen insulted him fiercely. Yet Kublai was not angry. Instead, he respected Wen as a loyal minister. This mindset and behavior reflected Confucian values. You might be curious. Why did Kublai abandon Mongolia? To become a Sinicized Mongolian? The reason is simple. It was the need for a power base. At that time, Kublai needed a strong foundation. Other steppe lords and old Mongolian nobles either supported Erikbo or the sons of monk and would not ally with Kublai. The Han landlords, squeezed by Mongolian nobles, hoped for a Mongolian ruler to represent their interests. Kublai himself was inclined towards the Han, and their interests aligned. In Kublai's court, Han advisors became the main force, providing effective communication strategies. What was crucial was that Kublai knew the true wealth lay in the tax potential of the Central Plains, compared to the trade economies of Central Asian city-states and Mongolian pastoralism. Kublai Khan has established a complete tax system in the Central Plains. His annual income reaches 1,000,000 taels of silver. It's simply a basic operation. Isn't it nice to collect money while lying down? Kublai's political system is essentially a patchwork. It retains some Mongolian privileges at the court, while fully implementing Han laws at the grassroots level. This pragmatic reform conceals contradictions. The fusion of Mongolian and Han ideologies will inevitably collapse in half a century. With the rampant inflation of paper currency and the palace uprising, the Yuan dynasty was like a meteor in history. It illuminated the Eurasian continent with its iron-blooded light. Yet it suddenly collapsed in less than a century. In 1368, the northern Yuan court lost financial support from Han territories. And within 20 years, it regressed to a nomadic state. Even the imperial seal was lost. The war has turned the land to ashes. If Kublai met Genghis Khan in the afterlife, he might say, "Grandfather, I have actually become a Han person." Genghis Khan might respond, "My grandson, you are not a Mongol traitor. You are the Emperor of the East." So the question arises, is Kublai really the Emperor of the East? From a territorial perspective, he established the Yuan dynasty. It is indeed the largest dynasty in Eastern history. It is also part of Chinese civilization. However, he ultimately is just a patchwork. He is neither a complete inheritor of Mongolian tradition, nor can he fully become a Han person. Kublai is like a wonder of history. He forcefully stitched together nomadic and agrarian civilizations. Although this patchwork eventually collapsed, his mark on East Asian history is unparalleled. Kublai, as a Mongol Sinicized ancestor, will always be a controversial figure in history. But it cannot be denied that his courage to break traditions and integrate diverse cultures led to the glory of the Yuan dynasty. It also enriched Eastern history. This time, the story of Kublai has been shared. It shows everyone how this Mongol Khan became the Emperor of the East. In history, there are many seemingly contradictory figures. Behind them often lies untold stories. Finally, I hope everyone pays attention. Next time, I will bring more little-known historical revelations.